thing is, we have earlier talked about it that Salesforce has a MVC framework. Anyone who remembers what's an MVC framework? Sridhar, what is MVC framework? Sridhar is there, right? Sridhar, what is MVC framework? Swati, MVC framework? Model View Controller, good. So MVC framework is a framework of an application where there are three layers. One is model, the other one is view, the other one is controller, right? So model is the backend data model. So all these days we have been, dealing more with the data model in the backend, the creating of objects, fields, data inside that, right? Now, a few sessions, I think 2 or 3 sessions back, we talked about customization of user interface, where we talked about, the view part of it, page layout, right? Customizing the user interface, and then we talked about customization of logics. So these logics are basically the controlling logics, the controllers, all right? So now model we know, okay, this is there in the back end. In the front end we have view, okay? So we have some declarative methods of controlling the view, like page layout we saw the other day. However, in case you want advanced customization, in case you want to have a customization exactly as per your requirement, in that case what you do is you take help of Visualforce. So Visualforce is the programming language which we are going to use for customization of user interface, or in terms of designing new user interface. All right, so that is what we will do with the Visualforce. Okay, this is a programming language, more of a markup language, more than a programming language. This is a markup language which is used for designing the markups, and it's pretty similar to HTML, very similar to HTML. That is the reason why yesterday I told you to go through this HTML tutorial, right? Okay. So for view part, or for designing the interfaces, or for controlling the look and feel of the interface, Visualforce is used, right? So Visualforce is more like a language or a markup language which will control the look and feel of the interface. Okay, now how do I control the logics? Look and feel is not the only thing, right? We have to take care of the logics also. When I click on a certain button, what happens? If there is some logic which gets executed in the back end, right? So for that we use another language which is a proper programming language, which is called Apex. Apex is similar to Java. Similar to Java, again it's not Java. So Apex is the other programming language, right? And since so for the interfaces it's Visualforce, for the controllers it's Apex, for logics and all. Okay, we will need some programming on our data model also, database. Okay, so what sort of programming usually works on database? Queries, right? So you might need to write some queries. So there are two things which we use here: SOQL, which stands for Salesforce Object Query Language, and the other query language which we are going to use here is SOSL, which stands for Salesforce Object Search Language. Okay, so these query languages can be used on the database, right, for retrieving some data or updating some data, whatever, basically, in case you want to do any data manipulation, or in case you want to just retrieve some data or update some data, you just use these queries. Okay, most of the time these queries will be used within the Apex program. Okay, so that is it. Model view controller. So we have different programming languages for each layer of the MVC framework, right? We start our customization with the Visualforce, because it's the simplest one and it's easy to understand. And after understanding Visualforce a little, we'll get into Apex, and then within Apex we will talk about SOQL and SOSL also. All right. So okay, so let's get started with the Visualforce thing. Just give me a minute. Right. So what is Visualforce? You can see my screen, right? What is Visualforce? The first question that is there. Visualforce is a framework, call it a programming language also, that's fine, absolutely okay, no problem. That allows developers to build sophisticated custom user interfaces, right? So this is basically in a simple language, the programming or the coding language which allows you to build your custom user interfaces. So we have seen the Salesforce user interfaces which are by default there. However, if you want to build your own user interface, you just want to control the minute details of that user interface, you can use Visualforce. Okay. So this allows developers to build custom user interfaces that can be hosted natively on Force.com platform. So these can be hosted natively on Force.com platform. All right. So basically these pages are used on the Force.com platform itself. The Visualforce framework includes a tag-based markup language. So this framework includes the markup language similar to HTML. All right. So as I told you, this is a programming language which is very similar to HTML. That is what Visualforce is. That's it. So pretty simple. And while if you have done HTML or if you have gone through the tutorial of HTML, you will also find that some of the HTML tags can also be used in Visualforce. Not some of them. In fact, most of the HTML tags can be used within Visualforce, right? Like we have a tag, HTML tag for making the text bold, B. There is a tag which makes the text bold, right? Then we have a tag for making text italic. So those tags can be used within Visualforce also. So we don't have a separate tag in Visualforce for these simple things. We can use HTML tag. So one, Visualforce is very similar to HTML. Secondly, it also uses some of the HTML tags. All right. Okay. So before you start working on Visualforce, what you'll have to do, you just have to do a small thing. You have to make a small setup change. You have to enable the Visualforce development mode. Okay, so you all have your Salesforce developer editions. You just have to go ahead and enable the Visualforce development mode so that you can create the Visualforce pages and you can view them, or you can basically preview the page, and at the same time you can write the code or edit the code. Okay, so what will this Visualforce development mode do for you? Development mode embeds a Visualforce page editor in your browser. Okay, so this embeds a Visualforce page editor in the browser. All right, that allows you to see code and preview the page at the same time. All right, so what will happen? This will embed that code editor in your browser so that you can view the result as well as type the code. So both the things you can do simultaneously. To enable development mode, so I want everyone to be logged in into your developer editions very quickly. Everyone logged in into developer edition. Everyone logged in into your developer editions. Now you just have to make, this is a small setup change and this is a one-time activity so that your that Visualforce page editor gets enabled, and then you can write the code and view the page simultaneously, parallelly. Alright, so hope everyone is done with that. Okay. Now you go to My Settings, personal advanced user details. Go to my settings, personal advanced user details, and in that go ahead and click on edit. And there select the development mode checkbox. I want everyone to do this. Just go to my settings, personal advanced user details. You know how to make changes to your personal settings, right? Just go to your personal settings, and under that go to advanced user details, click on edit, then select development mode checkbox and click on save. And once you are done, please type in a small message in the chat window, done. Okay, Shalini is done. Great. Who else is done? Swati, Chandu, everyone is done. Okay, that's great. Right. So your development mode is on. Right now you can go ahead and start creating your Visualforce pages. Okay, Anju, can you just do one thing? Can you also let me know if you are done? Because I'm going to use your login ID password for creating pages. So I want you to make sure that it is done. Or if you're not doing, then I'll do it from here. Just leave it. Okay. So the development mode is enabled and we are ready to create our own page. So let's get into creating the Visualforce page. Now it's pretty simple. Now you can create a page and then you just need to write the code, what you want to see on the page. That's it. Okay. Anju, you just leave it. I will do it for you. Okay. Now we are going to create the first Visualforce page. So I'll just quickly tell you how to create a Visualforce page. Before that, just one small thing. So I am going to use Anju's login ID password for creating these pages. So Anju, you will have a small task after the session every day for these coding sessions that we are going to do. I will create the whatever examples we are discussing. I will create all those things within your login. You just have to copy the codes end of every session and email it to me. Will you be able to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that will be great. All right. So I'm gonna create the first page and we will see how to create the page. Okay. And please don't do it parallelly. Just look into my screen how I'm doing things. It's nothing that you will not be able to do later. So I just want you to be focused on what I am doing and things like that, right? It's pretty simple. So don't try to do it parallelly. Then you will not be able to focus. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me log in into my Salesforce account. So here we are. All right, so I think Anju, you created this developer edition a few days back, right? How old is this developer edition? A few months back?
About 2 months back.
Right. So in case this is for everyone, in case you do not see my settings thing here, you can always go to setup. Okay, you can always go to setup. If you don't see my settings, you can go to setup and you will have your personal settings under setup. Okay, so click on that and click on personal information, and then you can click on edit, and on the right hand side you will have development mode checkbox. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so we just need to check it on, make sure this is checked on, and then just save it. All right, so the development mode is on, the developer org is ready, Now the next thing that we start doing is we have to create the Visualforce page. Creating a Visualforce page is very simple. Just go to the URL. It's very simple. Go to the URL. Delete everything after salesforce.com/. Okay. I'm creating a page. I just have to go to the URL. I have to delete everything after salesforce.com/, then type apex slash page name. Your page name can be anything. I am naming my page as V1. That's it. So this is what you have to do. You just have to go to the URL, delete everything after salesforce.com/, then just type in apex, then give again a slash, and then type the page name and press enter. Okay. The moment you do this, it will show you an error. What is the error? It says this page does not exist. Obviously, this is the first time I'm creating the page, so this does not exist. Absolutely fine. I have an option of creating this page. So you can just click on this create page V1 and create it. The page will get created. So it will create a Visualforce page with name V1. Got it? So let me repeat it. Delete everything in the URL after salesforce.com/, then just type in apex, then give a slash and give the page name. You can give page name whatever you want. Make sure your page name does not have special characters or space. That's it. You can give it any name. It should not have a special character or it should not have a space. That's it. Press enter. It will throw you an error because the page does not exist currently, and it will give you an option of creating your own page. So just go ahead and click on create page V1. That's it. Congratulations, your page has got created. Saw this? How easy it is to create a Visualforce page? Okay. Now, this is my page. This is the actual page, the end result. Where is the code? At the bottom, the moment you create the page, at the bottom you will see small panel. This is basically for the code editor, so you can expand it and you will get to see the code here. This is the code for your page. Now you keep on writing whatever you want and that will appear on your page. Let's say I want to write so now whatever content you want in the page, you just have to keep on putting it. Got it? Is it simple? Creating the page at least? Everyone is fine with it? Alright. So that is how we create the page. So the page has got created. Now the next thing that we'll have to do is look into how do we put content into it. So that is the only thing. Now this way you can just go to the URL, type in, delete everything after salesforce.com/ and then just type apex / page name and create any page. Now what you want inside the page, that is what we are going to learn from here. Alright. So Visualforce development mode is enabled, and that is the reason why you can see the code editor at the bottom. Okay, let's quickly again look into the process of creating a Visualforce page. Okay, so if your Salesforce instance is this, the new URL should be this. So in your browser, add /apex hello to your URL after salesforce.com. Hello is the page name in this case. Alright, so you can just write this thing, press enter, click the create page hello link to create the new page, you will see your new page with some default markup. So there's some default markup already there. Okay, there is an alternate way of creating the page. We just took the developer way. So the way I showed you how to create a page, this is the practical way, basically as developers how we create the page. But there is another way of creating a page also. I think you should know that, but that's something which we don't use practically, but you should be aware of that. Alternate way is to go to setup develop pages and click on new. As simple as that. So you have an option of going and creating a page from the setup also. So the one that I showed you is the shortcut, and that is more used because creating a page from the URL allows you to instantly look into the code and edit the code. So once you start creating a page from the setup develop option, you don't have that page preview available instantly, right? So that is the reason why we always create it through this. Okay, so this is just a good to know information, alternate way. At this point of time you should just know this, but you should use the same URL wala approach for creating the page, right? So we know how to create a page, that's there, fine. Now, what does a page consist of? Let's understand what does this page consist of. The page consists of two primary elements. So there are two primary elements which will be there in a Visualforce page. A Visualforce markup, okay, and a Visualforce controller. So what is a markup? The markup defines the user interface components that should be included on the page and the way they should appear. Okay. So that page, while you create a Visualforce page, it will primarily have two types of elements, right? One is the markup. Markup is basically what appears on the page and how it appears on the page, which can include everything like text, image, button, hyperlink, some background color, a tab, anything, right? So that, and how that appears. Does your text appear in red or green or blue? That is all markup, right? Look and feel of your page. The other element for a Visualforce page is called a Visualforce controller. What is this controller? Visualforce controllers is basically set of instructions that specify what happens when a user interacts with the components specified in associated Visualforce markup, right? So this is controller is something which you do not see. This is the controlling logic, set of instructions that control the behavior of those components or the behavior of the markups. So if there is a button, what happens when you click on the button? Okay, where will the button appear? At the top of the page or at the bottom of the page? What is the size of the button? What's the color of the button? What's the background color? What's the foreground color? That is all markup. What will happen on click of that button? That is the controller, correct? So this Visualforce markup is like the actress who are standing in front of the stage. Visualforce controller is like the story writer. Okay, what happens when actually the actor comes into the stage or something like that. So all that controlling part is done using Visualforce controller. So this is what we were talking earlier also, that this controlling part is most of the times done using Apex. Okay, we have some standard controllers, default logics which are there, we use them, or we can write our own logics using Apex. Visualforce is a pure markup language, so it does not allow you to write any script. Okay, so logics are all written using Apex. We will get into that. So for now you just need to understand these two elements of a Visualforce page. It will definitely have the markup and it will also have these controllers. Okay, set of instructions that specify, such as specify what happens when a user interacts with the component specified in associated Visualforce markup. That's there. Such as when a user clicks on a button or a link. So if a user clicks on a button, does it open a different page or does it change some data on the same page? That all depends on the controller. All the logics or set of instructions which are defined in the controller. Okay. Controllers also provide access to the data that should be displayed on the page. So a controller also controls what data will come onto the page. So again, try and understand this. We have been talking about access, permission, everything, right? Okay, Swati says again. So Swati, what was the last thing that you could understand? Which one do you want me to repeat? Okay. So controller is basically a set of instructions, okay, that specify what happens when a user interacts with the page. Got it? So when the page gets loaded, when you click on a certain button, when you come out of the page, what happens? Those instructions are called controllers. Okay, so controllers are not visible things. These are all, you know, controlling logics or controlling set of instructions. Right? Markup is something which is very, very visible on the page, which can be an image, link, button, tab, whatever. All right. So set of instruction can be, an example I've written here is when a user clicks on a button, what happens? That is the set of instructions. Okay. Okay. The other thing that controllers basically, primarily do is they control what data can be displayed on the page. So we have been talking about all these things. I think in the last few sessions we have talked about access and permissions and stuff, right? And we have seen that it's not that through anything we start giving access to anyone, to everything and all that stuff, right? We control access permission on almost everything. So if you're designing a page, it's not that that page will be used for displaying all the data of the company, right? So you can also control what data is being displayed on that page, what data should come onto that page, right? So that controlling is also done through a controller, right? The controllers also provide access to the data that should be displayed in a page, right? So which all data is allowed to that page, right? So here it's not controlling who views what data. Who views what data, that is basically primarily done in OWD, organization wide default. But here we control what data comes onto that page. Let's say if you have created a page for displaying all the accounts from energy industry. So what all data should come into that? Only the accounts which have industry equals energy, nothing else, right? So that is there. That is something which is controlled using the controller. All right. So we understand two primary elements for Visual Force pages. Okay. So I'll start talking about controllers, but let's have a quick look into the markup thing. So now whatever you see here, this is all markup. Congratulations and all this stuff. This is all markup because we can see them, right? There is no logic written anywhere. So this is just a pure markup page at this point of time. It has got all markup, no controller at this point of time, right? When you make some changes on the code, you just need to come here and save the changes so that you can do view the page, or you can have a preview of the page, how it's going to look after the changes, right? So this is how it looks. All right. So at this point of time, this page just has markups. There is no set of instructions, no controllers, right? So at this point of time, this is a simple markup page. All right. There is no logic control and stuff like that. Okay, we'll gradually get into that. So are we okay with the markup and controller concept? Anyone has a confusion on that part? Markups we understand, controller we understand. There's another thing that we need to talk about before I get into the different types of controllers and all. Okay, there's one more concept which we are going to talk about, which is called a visual force component and attribute. Okay, what is a visual force component? Basically, a visual force component is more like an HTML tag. Okay, so like in HTML we have tags. We have seen that we have tag for everything, right? So in the same way, for visual force we have components, right? So there are some default components which are there. Okay, there are a lot of standard components which are available. So these components are primarily used for bringing in the markups on the page, right? So we have components like a form, button, table, a link, an image. So these are all components. Okay, so we have those visual force components, and we have attributes for every component. Just give me 1 second. Hello. Yeah, sorry for that. All right. So we are talking about the components and attributes, right? So there are a lot of visual force components which are there, all right, which can be used on the visual force page. So these components, I gave you some examples, right? Like a table you want to create, there is a component for table, there is a component for a button, for a link, for image. So there are a lot of these kind of components, right? And every component has got certain attributes. So I'll give you a simple example. If you look into this page that we have created, this is a visual force component. You see the FX page tag? This is a visual force component. I told you that we can use HTML tags also in visual force. If you see this H1, this is an HTML tag. This line break, this is also an HTML tag. But this is a visual force component, apex page. Okay, so a visual force component always starts with apex colon. Okay, and we use these visual force components to define what component we want to put into the page. As simple as that. Apex page component is the mandatory component. It has to be there on every page. So every page should start with an apex page component and it should end with the apex page component. Okay, this way there are hundreds of components. All right, but this is the most common one, and this is something which has to be there in every page. You cannot have a visual force page without this. So all your pages should start with this component, end with this component. All right, now if I see, there are so many of them. Right, so we are not getting into all the components at this point of time. We're just talking about the apex page component. Try to understand this. So this is the component. Okay, now every component has certain attributes. So component, as I told you, that's a simple visual force component. How does that component appear? That depends on the attribute. Okay, so there can be several different ways of displaying the same component. That is controlled through attributes. So every component in Visual Force has got certain attributes. For example, this apex page component that you view here, that has got an attribute called sidebar equals false. So that has got an attribute. You can make it true or false. By default it's true. Sidebar is this sidebar. Now the sidebar is visible on my Visual Force page. This complete thing is Visual Force page, right? I can see the sidebar. If I don't want to see the sidebar on the Visual Force page, then I can go to this attribute. So this is an attribute of the apex page component, and I can just make it false. That's it. Save it. Now there is no sidebar. If I don't want to see this header also, there's another attribute called show header. I can make it false. The header is also gone, right? So how does a component appear? That depends on the attributes of the component. So you don't have to use all the attributes every time, but depending on your requirement, you will choose which all attributes you want to make true or false, or whatever value is required in the attribute, you have to supply that. Got it? So we have different components. Well, as we do our sessions, we will gradually, talk about a few more components. We'll create the components and we'll use the attributes for them. All right. So for now, if you understand the attribute and component concept, we are going to get into the controllers. Okay. So we understand markups, we understand controllers, we understand components, and we understand attributes. Okay. In case anyone has a question on any of these things, please let me know right now. The next thing that I'm going to start talking is the different types of controllers. Now, I've told you that controller is basically the set of instructions, right? So there are different types of controllers. Markup, so we can see that we can put the markup here. What type of controllers can be brought into the page? That is what we are going to understand now, right? What are the different types of controllers which can be used on a Visualforce page? That is what we are going to look into. All right. So let me go back to my slideshow again. Okay, Navita has got a question. In this example, which is the component and which is the controller? Anyone who wants to answer? Anyone who can answer Navita's question? Which is the component, which is the controller? The example that we were discussing, right, Navita? Apex page and sidebar. Yeah. Anyone who wants to answer?
Apex page is component.
Okay.
All these are components. All these are components only.
Apex page is a component. What is attribute?
Attribute is the one like a show side, sidebar and a show header.
Right, that is the attribute. Got it? So there is a difference between, see again, we please don't confuse things with the markup and the component. Markup is whatever is there on the page, that is markup. Like I have written this line on the page, right? This is markup, something which appears on the page, but it does not use any Visualforce component. Is it using any Visualforce component? No. This is a Visualforce component, Apex page. Got it? So you may or may not have a component involved in a markup. You can have a markup without Visualforce component also. Got it? So every markup does not have to have a component. There are Visualforce components which can be used, and every component has got certain attributes. Okay? Navita, okay with you? Yeah, great. So now, as I told you earlier, that apart from a marker, so far whatever we have on the page, everything is markup. I have an Apex page component, I have some simple text, so everything is just markup, no controller as of now, right? No set of instructions, no logics, nothing is written, right? So we'll need to start putting controllers on the page. Okay, so let us understand what are the different types of controllers which can be used. There are four types of controllers which can be used. The first one and the most basic controller is a standard controller. Okay, what is a standard controller? A standard controller consists of the same functionality and logic that is used for a standard Salesforce page. So standard controller is what? Set of instructions. So think of it as a program. So standard controller is the program which is used by the standard Salesforce pages. Got it? So that is something which is already there. You don't have to write that program. You just have to call that program and use it. You just have to call that controller and use it. That's it. So standard controller consists of the same functionality and logic that is used for a standard Salesforce page. Because Salesforce has standard pages, so for those pages they definitely have some controllers also, right? So standard controller is that controller. So this is easy to use because here you just have to call the controller. You just have to name the controller. That's it. You don't have to write the program on your own. Got it? So this is a ready-made controller which is available by Salesforce. There's another controller which is called standard list controller. This is also similar to a standard controller. The difference is standard controller is used for one record. Standard list controller is used for multiple records. Okay. A standard list controller enables you to create Visualforce pages that can display or act on a set of records. Okay. But same logic applies. We don't write the program, we don't write the set of instructions, we just use the existing controllers. Got it? So out of four we have seen two controllers, standard and standard list. These are where you don't have to do anything, you just have to name the controller. Okay. So good thing is that you just have to call the controller. Bad thing is that you are limited to the standard functionalities and logics. You cannot have your own logics. Okay. Then in case you want to write your own logic, then what should you do? Then you should use the third type of controller, which is a custom controller. So custom controller is a class written in Apex. So this is where you have to write your own logics, your own instructions. Okay. So custom controller is a class which is written in Apex that implements all of a page's logic. So you can write your own logics the way you want, without leveraging a standard controller. So it does not leverage any of the standard controller. This is where it uses all of our custom logics. If you use a custom controller, you can define new navigation elements or behaviors. Alright, so if you're using a custom controller, you can write your own logics, your own navigation elements, your own behaviors. Alright. And then there is another thing which is called a controller extension, the fourth and the last type of controller extension. A controller extension is also a class written in Apex. So this is also written in Apex using Apex. I told you earlier that the controller part will be done using Apex. So this is written in Apex, and that this controller adds to or overrides behavior in a standard or custom controller. So a controller extension is something which can be combined with a standard controller. So in first two cases, what happens? You just use the standard logics, Salesforce defined logics. You don't write any one of your own logic, right? In the third custom controller, it's all your custom logics. No Salesforce, so it does not see, it says. Okay. Custom controller does not leverage a standard controller. Okay, so this does not leverage any of the standard logics or standard instructions, right? Controller extension is kind of a mix of both. So if you want to utilize the standard logics, at the same time you want to write your own logics as well, then you should use a controller extension. All right, got it? That is it. So these are four different types of controller. We will do all these types of controllers one by one. All right. So just want you to understand the basics of the controllers. And there's one more thing that I want you to understand. So now we understand the controller. Now a controller is an attribute of the page component. Alright. So I told you that every Visualforce page should have an Apex page component. I told you this is must. This has to be there, right? So you have to define your controller as an attribute of the Apex page component. Okay. If it's a standard controller, you see there is an attribute called standard controller. If it's a custom controller, there is an attribute called controller, only controller. See. Okay. If it's an extension, there is an attribute called extensions. Got it? So whatever logics, set of instructions, be it standard set of instructions, custom set of instructions, extensions, that needs to be defined on the first line of the code as an attribute of the Apex page component. Fine, which is fair enough, which is good. Whatever logics you want to work within the page, you should define them right at the top of the page. Okay, clear? So now we'll start our discussion with the most simple, the standard controller. The simplest of them all, the standard controller. Okay. Okay, we have a question from Anju. She says, do we have this editor in real life? Yeah, this is in real life also. I mean, practical scenarios also. This editor is there. Just that you have to make sure that you have enabled the development mode. Sometimes if you are not the developer or if you do not have admin rights, you might not have that choice of enabling the development mode for yourself, right? In that case, you will not get to see, but ideally there's something which we have. Okay. All right. So let's get into. Hello. Yeah. One second, please. Hello. Yeah. Someone was asking some question. No. Okay. So Anju, that's clear with you, right?
That
Huh. Go ahead.
the code which you were written, yeah, do we have to write every time that code, like if you want to create a button or label or something like that?
Which code?
We have to have that Apex page here over here.
This has to be there. This is mandatory. This, everything else you can remove. But Apex page has to be there, right? Whatever you write should be within this boundary. So your page starts here, your page ends here. Now whatever you want to put in the page, that should come within this, right?
So it's manual work in short. We have to write everything between this, like HTML.
Right. So you have to write the entire code of the page within this. So this helps that Visualforce page understand that this is my boundary. Got it? So nothing beyond it, nothing before it. Alright?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay. So the last thing that we were talking was that this controllers are defined as the attribute of the page component. So Apex page component is a must. Right now we do not have a controller defined here, which means this is a page which does not have any controller. This is a page which just has markups, right? So there is no set of instructions here. If you look into this page, this is just a plain page which is not interactive, which does not do anything, which does not even display the data from the database. So it does not require any controller. There is some static value being displayed here. So that's fine. All right. But we will need to use controller in case we want to display data from a certain object. I told you that controller controls what all data can be displayed on the page. And we will also require to use the controllers for controlling some of the actions like saving the data, editing the data and stuff like that, right? So once we meet tomorrow, we are going to start our discussion on the standard controller. So we'll start working on the standard controller. We'll create some pages and stuff, right? Using the standard controller. Today, I just want you to spend some time on the Visualforce page. Try to create the page. Try to put as many markups as you can. Try to use HTML tags on the Visualforce page that you create. Don't be bothered about the controller part. Just create a page which just has markups. Okay, which is not a page which is not doing any talking, but that will be a good practice for you all. So in case you have seen some of the HTML tags, for people who are comfortable with HTML, they can skip this exercise, but people who are new to HTML can just create a Visualforce page like this and try to put whatever you want inside this. So that will be a good practice for you for the time being.